On the 15th of November, we mentioned PC Robert Davies, a Gwent police constable. Surprise, surprise. Who is said to have sent inappropriate and unprofessional texts to 3 members of the public that he had met through the course of his duties. The complete cockwomble even used his own work phone to text the women between January and May 2020 in actions that would have breached the professional standards in relation to integrity, authority, respect, courtesy and discreditable conduct. Well, Davies' misconduct hearing is now underway and in fact I believe started yesterday. Messages to the women found on the 50-year-old's police issue mobile phone are said to have been suggestive and overly familiar, although Davies said he was just being concerned and supportive. Concerned and supportive, huh? The women, 2 of which were victims of crime and the 3rd being the sister of a victim of crime, are said to have received messages of which included references to naughty dreams. One of the women he told was very important to him. Another, he said, "What time are you going to bed?" And the 3rd message stated, "You are gorgeous in every way." Davies refutes the allegations of misconduct, describing the comments as being part of a light-hearted conversation and denying the messages had any sexual motive. It wasn't me. Of course, mental health had to come into it somewhere, didn't it? And we haven't had to wait that long. The hearing were told that at the time of the alleged misconduct, he was suffering from undiagnosed PTSD after witnessing a number of distressing incidents during his 28 years on the Gwent police force. Now, to be clear here, I understand that police must come across some gruesome sights and be involved with some incidents that could affect them mentally. But so do firefighters and ambulance crews, but I don't find many reports of either of those 2 professions churning out as many sex pests as the police. Now, the reason I scoff at police and mental health excuses is because it's not a problem until they're on charges. Why are police forces allowing those with PTSD and other alleged serious mental health issues to work on the front line? That's not only dangerous for the plot, but it increases the risk to the public, and we have more than enough people dying at the hands of plod right now without any mental health suffering plod having PTSD meltdowns. Direct from the NHS website, it says that those with PTSD, along with re-experiencing the trauma in the form of flashbacks or nightmares, the sufferer may experience avoidance and emotional numbing, which it states here some people attempt to deal with their feelings by trying not to feel anything at all, which is known as emotional numbing. This can lead to the person becoming isolated and withdrawn, and they may also give up pursuing activities they used to enjoy. Now, being unemotional isn't a good trait for somebody who has to deal with people in emotional turmoil or emotional states, and is not conducive to a police-public relationship. Also, if the person is becoming withdrawn and isolated, then why are their colleagues and bosses not seeing this and then acting on it? Also, someone with PTSD may be very anxious and find it difficult to relax. They may be constantly aware of threats and easily startled. This state of mind is known as hyperarousal. Hyperarousal often leads to irritability, angry outbursts, sleeping problems and difficulty concentrating. Yeah, and just what we need patrolling the streets is cops with irritability and prone to angry outbursts. I would suggest that almost every copper currently has PTSD. On that basis alone, they should be signed off work sick and not simply ignored so they can then go on to abuse the public in one form or another and then blame it on PTSD. The top brass are just as complicit in allowing this to happen if the actions are caused by PTSD, so we shouldn't forget that they have allowed people with PTSD and other mental illnesses to continue working and interacting with the public. In fact, I'd suggest that from now on, any and every interaction you have with police, you should ask them from the onset, do you suffer with PTSD, and get it recorded. So in other words, if you're approached by the police for any reason and they're like, "Good afternoon, sir," or "Madam," you should say, before I engage with you, do you suffer from PTSD? If they say yes, then they should be reported for being on duty whilst unfit. If they say no, I wouldn't believe them anyway, but at least you would have some evidence that they said no for when it goes to a misconduct hearing. Anyway, back to PC Davies. Davies told of the hearing that I didn't feel I was inappropriate at the time. I was not a well man because of the incidents I had attended. I was suffering from stress. On reflection, I wish I had taken sick leave or asked for help. Davies denied asking another woman, known as Ms. C, to stay at his home in Newport, although she told the hearing that she felt her contact with him had been inappropriate and too invasive. She says Mr. Davies was overly friendly and unprofessional, claiming he invited her to come to his home. Davies said that he would not have invited Ms. C to his home because at the time the father of three was living with and caring for his elderly parents. It's not my house, I live with two elderly people, it would be difficult, he said. So now we have PTSD and caring for elderly parents whilst being a full-time copper. Yeah, something doesn't quite add up there. But we're going to have to wait and see as the hearing has continued and more information will be available. And when it is, I will, of course, be sure to bring that to you.